Mike Owens with Inside Fighting here, joined today by the main man, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, who returns with Gamebred Bare Knuckle MMA 8 next month. Randy Costa versus Brandon Davis in the main event. Jorge, always a pleasure, my man. How are things with you today?
How you doing, my brother? Glad to be back, brother. Excited to talk about this card, the most fighting card to date. We got 12 UFC veterans, 11 fights. It's gonna be pandemonium, man. We got the first ever bantamweight title, Randy Davis versus Costa, the rematch. Um, Randy Costa, my bad, versus Brandon Davis. Sorry about that. Tongue twister. Sorry to both guys, but this is gonna be a great fight. Both dudes have fought already. It was a great fight of the year type fight. Now they're back, more mature, meaner than ever, and the gloves are coming off. So it's nothing personal, I think, between the two of them, but it's definitely very competitive edge. You know, they don't want to give an inch to each other, and it's gonna make for a fucking great fight. We got Chase Sherman fighting Maurice Green as well, chasing the 2-fight knockout streak for us. Maurice Green is also on a 2-fight knockout streak. The winner of this, we're gonna start moving him towards contention for possible showdown with Junior Dos Santos. We also have Kevin Lee making his debut in MMA bare knuckle.
Mhm.
Everybody knows who Kevin Lee is, I'm sure. Top UFC prospect, complete badass, fighting Saul Almeida, veteran of over 50 fights. This guy's incredibly tough, crafty, great ground. So I think it's going to be a fucking great fight. We also have the convicted killer from Brazil, Guto, 5-time national heavyweight Brazilian multi champion, also 2-time world time champion, 2-time world champion. My bad, I'm all fucking fucked up today. Um, this is gonna be a fucking another great fight, and he's fighting no slouch. He's fighting another 2-time Brazilian national heavyweight champion, and it's gonna be amazing. It's an MMA. Guto has about 18 to 19 fights. So the guy has like 10 pro fights in MMA. So it's gonna be amazing, man. These guys are coming to throw down. We got Charles Rosa. I think he has like 7 or 8 UFC fight of the night bonuses. Also making his bare knuckle MMA debut. I mean, hats off to the matchmakers, brother. This is the best card that we've ever had stacked from top to bottom. The quality of opponents that we have, it's going to be fucking nuts. We got Curtis Malonga also making his appearance, coming back into MMA bare knuckle. He got a win last time he was here against a very tough Bowman. So we know Curtis can bring the heat, man, and we know his next fight's going to be even better.
Mm. Let's talk about Kevin Lee very quickly because I think in terms of name value, as you mentioned, former interim UFC title challenger, probably the biggest name on the card if we can be honest. That feels like a big coup for you guys at the moment. And I know that you signed big talent such as JDS and Roy Nelson, but how did the Kevin Lee signing for this fight come about?
We have great relationships with his manager, Ali. We've been working with Ali a lot for a lot of our events and stuff. Ali's very well connected, and he has a great agency. You know, we ask for something, we get it right away. He's just one of the best managers I've dealt with in the business. You know, and Kevin Lee became a free agent, kind of available. He was talking to some other companies and stuff, and we came in. We put a nice deal together for him once we heard he was a free agent and we can negotiate for him, and we were able to bring Kevin Lee on over. But we're very excited, man. As you know, Kevin Lee's a serious threat. He's fucking a fan favorite for a reason. Be knocking people dead when he does make connection. So we're eager to have this motherfucker on there, man.
Randy Costa versus Brandon Davis. Why did you feel like this fight was the right one to bring the inaugural bantamweight title fight to it?
We really like Randy Davis's performance. Randy Davis, I keep messing up. Randy Costa's performance was fucking stellar performance. His last time that he fought in Mississippi was a great fucking fight. Brandon Davis is a fucking problem, man. He's just another fan favorite. You know, he's got this. You can't get him out of there in front of you. He's just gonna be fucking pushing and get in front of you and start digging. And he's like a dude with an axe. He's just gonna get close and start digging and chopping away. And his resume is also amazing. He's fighting in the UFC, beating some tough quality opponents in and out of the UFC. Same thing for Costa. We're like, we got to make this rematch. These are two of our best guys at 135. These guys have been there, done it, have competed at the highest levels and done very well. So let's do it.
UFC 308 is this weekend. Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway for the UFC featherweight title. And we have an incredible new offer from our partners at DraftKings. Right now, all new customers who bet $5 will instantly receive $200 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and sign up using our promo code Inside Fighting. The crown is yours. I think you mentioned earlier 12 UFC vets on the cards. What goes into you looking at acquiring or signing talent? Do you look at their previous fights? Do you look at they'll be a good
Yeah.
fit for your brand? How does that conversation go?
One thing first about the matchmaking in bare knuckle, if you want to do it right, and we've been lucky, we've been doing it right, is you got to pick the right type of fighter. Not every fighter glove is going to do well in bare knuckle. It might be a striker in bare knuckle, and then he gets in and he throws his first bare knuckle shot, and all of a sudden he becomes a grappler. He doesn't want to throw strikes anymore because his hands are hurting, right? So that happens a lot. So we always look at the tape. We're looking for a lot of dogs. Obviously, we want guys, skilled athletes, technique, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we want a guy that's a fucking dog. That's gonna whatever you give them, they're gonna fucking wipe their ass with it and keep coming for the finish the whole time. And that's where we really go balls out to recruit. Just so happens we get that little extra sprinkle that a lot of these guys are like UFC veterans and bro, they're top of the tier. And we're able to fucking lock them down. And it's just sweet, bro. It's a sweet deal, man. To have these guys, all these free agents out there that can throw down that we know are certified killers and we get him to agree to fight another certified killer and take the gloves off. It's the best fucking thing in the world.
Do you have a dream signing? Do you look at somebody out there on the market and go, maybe he's not a free agent at the moment, but somebody who you go, him in Gamebred Bare Knuckle one day, that's a
Yeah,
match
yeah,
made in
we,
heaven.
we we got a bunch of those. We got a bunch of those, and hopefully next year at our first show with April, March. I mean February, March. We're gonna have one of those killers, brother. We're gonna have a world champion grappler. We've been talking to him for a little bit. He's ready to make his MMA debut in bare knuckle. So it's gonna be fucking. It's gonna blow the roof off, especially the grappling community.
I think I saw an interview with Brendan Schaub said he was offered to fight by you guys. Is that true?
We were working on something for Brandon Shaw and stuff. We were talking some numbers and things. But Brandon's a little busy, man. He's got a crazy successful career, so doing all this stuff. So I don't think right now it would fit in his plans.
And it feared like when I heard that the most likely opponent in my vim would have been JDS. What's next for JDS? Do you have plans for him for his return?
We're gonna see him return in South Florida. He'll be one of our headliners in South Florida when we return next year, March, February. He's definitely gonna be one of the headliners, if not the headliner.
I love it. I love it.
So.
Talking about headliners, I have to ask about you because I think I've seen an interview or two saying you may be back, you may be returning to MMA.
Oh yes.
Is that
Not
true?
maybe. It's a for sure. I'm back to MMA, brother. I've been training ready for a good amount of time since I finished up the boxing gig. So it's just a matter of time. Maybe this year, hopefully early next year, at latest.
Why is it now? Because all these interviews that we've done over the years, and I've asked you this question, you didn't quite feel like it was right. Why do you feel? Why is the thing something changed in your want to return?
I feel like I spent 6 months just boxing, right? And in the 6 months, my body got to rest from certain things, but I also got to do something, a lot of it, which was spar. I was sparring like 3 times a week hard with good pros, up and coming professionals, uh, amateur Olympians, world champions. They were amateurs, they were now turned pro. I was getting a lot of good work. And I started to see like, man, maybe certain things that I thought weren't that I was doing them bad or wrong. It wasn't that they were gone. It's just I was doing certain things leading up to this wrong,
Mm.
and I had changed up a lot of stuff for Vegas, and I got some really good results. I felt my performance. I dominated Nate. I fucking did well, and I just couldn't leave it like that, man. I feel like too good to retire. I know I have a lot more in the tank, especially at a world class level.
So in your mind, obviously, I'm not sure if conversations have started with the UFC. I'm presuming that would be the most likely destination next. But do you look at and go, sign set a date first so you can start preparing for your return? Do you look at a specific opponent? Like, what is the process of getting you matched up for
Right,
your
right
return?
now, we're just playing it by ear, seeing who's available or what.
Mhm.
It's definitely gonna be the UFC, and we don't know who yet. It'll definitely be at a 170, but we don't know who yet. We're gonna wait, see how cards play out, who's available, what and where, and the injuries. Let's roll. Let's go.
There's a guy from my side of the world who you once gifted a three-piece and a soda. I don't know if you can
Uh-huh.
if you
Oh
remember him. That
yeah, I
that
know
would
who that
feel
is.
that would be like a good
That's
return
what I've
fight
been
considering how
saying.
his
I
last fight
I,
went.
I asked the UFC, he didn't want that heat lean, whatever your fucking name is. If you hear this, let's go, motherfucker. What's the fucking holdup? Sign the contract. Let's throw down. The fuck else you want? You always wanted this fight. Now we get it done. You're not the champion of the world, and I'm fucking here. You know, he says I'm easy pickings. It'd be easy work for him. Then fucking come get this easy money because I am the highest fucking name on there. You know, my name is Tex X anybody's name. There's nobody that's fucking with me there in the amount of exposure that I get him. So if Leon, whatever the fuck he wants his heat, let's fucking go, man.
What
But
did
he
you
don't want
make?
it.
What
The
did you
UFC
make of
offered
his?
it to him. UFC offered it to him. He didn't want it. He passed on it. So
He
whatever.
passed on it.
Passed on it, man. So whatever. Fuck you.
What did you make of his last fight against Belal and Belal Muhammad becoming UFC champion?
Oh man, I've seen Belal since he was outside of the UFC, fighting in the regional scene. And I was like, man, tough dude. You know, I didn't think much about him. He wasn't a crazy athlete, crazy technical. So it's definitely a guy that I've seen like work through the ranks to where I thought like, yeah, he'd be good, maybe be like a top 10 guy to surprise him beating these top 10 guys, becoming a world champion. And it just shows credit to his hard work, his dedication to the craft, his lifestyle outside of the cage. And I really take my hat off with this guy because I've seen his progression. You know, it's
Mm.
impressive to see. The current world champion, and he won the belt pretty handily, pretty easily. You know? It looked like he could have done another 5 rounds.
Mm. I have to very quickly get your thoughts on another world champion before we finish. And you may have seen an interview with Ilia Topuria, and he was asked about Max Holloway's BMF title, and he said, and I'm roughly quoting, so don't quote me on this, but something along the lines of only there's only one man who deserves to win the BMF title, and that's Jorge Masvidal. Were you
That's my
surprised by that
brother.
comment? And is there a relationship there between yourself and Topuria?
Yeah, well, I've known Topuria since like his first, second UFC fight. I've always been a big fan of him. We got to meet, we got to train. And I was telling everybody, the whole world, this guy's gonna be a future world champion. And then he got into the top 10, and people were like, man, how did you know this guy's so freaking good? And then I'm like, I'm telling you, watch. And then, boom, before you knew it, he was a world fucking champion. Now he's fighting one of my favorite all time fighters that I think is one of the fucking best fighters assembled, you know, at 145. Like, man, Max could just do it all so well. So it's a very interesting fight. My money's on Ilia, but this is gonna be one that it's gonna be great, man. As a fan, if it
Mm,
wasn't the destination that it's at, I would 100% be there, you know,
mm.
because this is a fight that I would want to be there live. That's how special I think this fight is. Max, I think, is one of the greatest of an era, and Ilya is the fucking future, man. This guy is fucking special, bro.
Well, last question from me, Jorge, and I thank you as always for your time. You can
No,
you can take this one however you like it. Where are you? Where is Jorge Masvidal in 12 months' time? Where would you like to be in your career with Gamebred? Or where would you like to be come the end of October 2025?
man, I got 22 shows a year for Gamebred Bare Knuckle. We're feeding fighters, we're getting them exposure, we're getting them competition. The company's rocking and rolling, we're doing our thing. We're fucking just giving the fans what they need. The most violent show on earth is on repeat 1 to 2 times a month. And on top of that, your boy truly got 12 pounds of gold hanging around his waist, talking about who's next. Let's fucking run it, you know? I'm in great shape, no injuries. And come my fight day, I'm gonna be in the best shape of my life and just fucking bite down on that mouthpiece and get to work, you know, and find the toughest, baddest motherfucker I get in there with and mix it up, you know?
In fact, one final thing before we finish. When we last spoke, you promised me Gamebred would be making the UFC the UK debut. There would be a UK card this year. What are
Oh
the
yeah.
plans to take Gamebred to England?
We were very close to taking it to England. A couple things just fell through with some logistics and stuff like that, so we weren't able to make it happen then. But we are going to be coming to England, and I hope it's next year. We got anywhere from 8 to 12 shows already lined up for next year, so I'm really hoping we can start popping these shows off. Just you know, everything rocks smooth. It's not easy promoting, brother, but man, England is like so on the fucking bucket list, and I think the crowd there would just fucking go nuts. I know the English culture well for their combat, and they were like one of the first major major superpowers in the world that was behind like MMA, you know,
Mm.
and they've always been on it since I could remember. So man, England would appreciate some fucking bare knuckle fights, brother.
Mm. I love it. Well, we look forward to welcoming Gamebred and hopefully next year. Jorge, thank you as always for your time. Always a pleasure, my man, catching up and we will talk soon. And best of luck with the show next month.
God bless. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com November 15th. 12 UFC veterans, 11 fucking fights. Phantom World Weight Championship. Numerous convicted killers in the card that only go for the finish. Please tune in. Free as can be on YouTube, everybody. God bless, man. And Trump, 24, always. 24/7 from Mr. Trump. God bless, brother.